This is Amie, Chapman. This is her 12th puppy, and this is Pilaf.
And welcome to Growing Up Guidepup. This week we took Pilaf on a really fun outing to the Jelly Belly factory, where the Solano County puppy raisers put on a really fun event for all puppy raisers. Now it's about an hour-and-a-half trip from our house, and to make sure that she had an empty bladder for the rest of the afternoon, that was the first thing we did. Now the Jelly Belly factory has a wonderful relieving area just set up for dogs. There's even a fake fire hydrant set up for those pooches that wish to use it. So after Pilaf was done relieving, off we went to enjoy the festivities. If you've seen Season 1, Week 24, we brought Ricky to this very exact same event. The event this year was set up almost identical to the event last time when we brought Ricky. So Pilaf got to see some of the same obstacles that Ricky got to see. The thing that got Ricky the most was this little moving ball that had a tail attached to it. It really excited her and she had a hard time not being distracted by it. Now Pilaf got to experience this same ball with the tail attached to it, and she handled it totally different than Ricky did. She was very calm, wasn't distracted by it, and even at one point laid down and was just like a ho-hum, I know I'm not supposed to touch this, so why even bother going after it? Another toy distraction that they had was a squeaky ball. Now, guide dog puppies aren't allowed to play with squeaky balls because they can be very distracting, and Pilaf handled this really well. She was curious about the noise, but didn't get overall excited by it. Not only did Pilaf handle the squeaking ball really well, but they were also bouncing balls right in front of her, and she was really good, not trying to bite them at all. But at one point, she did stick her paw out and try to pull it towards her because she wanted to see a closer look at it. But in the end, she did a lot better than Ricky did in handling the ball distractions. She was very calm and was able to keep herself very composed. There was also a little wading pool set up. And well, Pilaf seems to like water a little bit, but she's very hesitant about entering it. And she had no desire to go into the pool whatsoever. Even though it was a hot day and it was a great way to cool off, she decided just to walk around it and sniff it and really didn't want to go in. Another area that was set up for us was different surfaces for the puppies to walk over. Now, some dogs have very sensitive feet and don't like their feet touching certain surfaces. And the only way to find out if your dog is sensitive is to go ahead and take them over different types of surfaces, which we did with Pilaf. Pilaf did fabulous. She didn't react to any of the surfaces. She was a little curious about the bubble wrap and that popping underneath her feet, but she still walked right over it without any problem. So after we were done with all the little obstacle courses, we headed upstairs into the Jelly Belly factory, where we met up with some of our friends and fans and their puppies in training too. It's always really fun to meet up with other puppy raisers, especially those who we talk to a lot on our Facebook fan page. We decided to try to get a group shot. Now, all these puppies are roughly about the same age, and they were really more into sitting around and socializing with each other than sitting still for a photo. So eventually we were able to get everybody together and get a shot. So from left to right, we have career change guide dog Rowan, who is now training to be a dog for diabetic, and his handler, Stephanie. Next to them was guide dog puppy in training Keith and his puppy raiser, Emily. Next to them is guide dog puppy in training Helene and her puppy raiser, Natalie. And then there's Pilaf and I, and at the very end is guide dog puppy in training Andrew and his raiser, Ashley. Once we were done meeting up with everybody, we decided to go tackle the elevator and see how Pilaf does on that. Now, Pilaf did really well. She showed no hesitation entering the elevator, nor when the door closed behind her. She seemed to have no problem or sensitivity to this, which is fabulous because we still don't know what Pilaf is overly sensitive about, and the only way to find out is to expose her to things and watch how she reacts. So put a check in the good column for Pilaf on elevators. Once we exited the elevator, it was time to expose Pilaf to her biggest challenge of the day. We took her for a little stroll through the visitor center. Now, there are a lot of challenges presented to Pilaf here. Not only are there a lot of people, kids, and food on the ground, on this day there were a lot of other puppies in training there, which added one more element of distraction for her. So we spent a fair amount of time there and went up and down the aisles and through things, and and just gave Pilaf a lot of time checking everything out. At other times in the past, when we've done things similar to this but without as much distraction, she would get a little overwhelmed and shut down. On this day, she did really well, so it just goes to show all the little steps we've done in the past are really making a big difference, and she's able to handle things like this a lot better now. After we were done in the visitor center, we went outside and met up with our friend Mary and her puppy in training, Marley. Marley is a full golden retriever, and he's only 5 days older than Pilaf. Marley was handed out on stage at the annual Guide Dogs for the Blind holiday luncheon. This is the exact same way we got Pilaf. So it was really fun to meet up with Mary and have a discussion about how our puppies have evolved and matured in the last few months. At this point, Pilaf was starting to show signs that she was getting tired, so we made the decision to go ahead and head home. So Matt went and took Pilaf to the car to get her some water, while I went inside to buy some jelly beans, because after all, you can't leave the Jelly Belly factory without getting jelly beans. So this was Pilaf's most challenging outing yet, and she handled it really well. She was faced with all kinds of distractions of people, crowds, food, and a lot of other dogs, and she proved that she's really come a long way in a very short amount of time. So I really can't hope for much more from this dog. She's doing fabulous, and I just hope we can continue to build her confidence and have her be able to go for longer outings just like this one. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Growing Up Guidepup.